Babies and L's, the weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we do not. It's on you. Actually, it would be on you. How you not give the guest the first go on W's and L's? That's crazy.
She asked me to go first. She said she wanted to get a feel for the show.
Did she?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess I'll give you a pass on that. All right. My first dub, surprisingly, goes by default to Drake. I want to get this topic out of the way. Drake.
Who's calling my phone? Who's calling my phone?
I want it to be noted that I did say I like that song in the review that we did of that album.
That shit's trash.
But then
you want to see an example?
But then I walked it back. But now I think I kind of like it a little bit again. But I think that's just programming.
No, it's absolutely programming. The first thing you say about a song is usually the strongest opinion. After it's been played 10 million times in your ear and you finally start just like out of repetition singing along with it, that doesn't mean you like it. That literally means they assimilated your ass. They put it in your brain against your will. First of all, did everybody know that you could get a check for playing Nokia in your videos?
What?
Oh yeah, they paying per impression for videos that have Nokia playing in it.
No, that's crazy.
So here we are.
So that's why I'm about to add a Nokia edit to this video right now.
Here we are suing UMG over pushing Not Like Us and using bots and getting it. Well, even though I had completely forgotten because, you know, we're still in court over frivolous matters. But he already dropped the bot shit. The bot shit already got dropped. That was the one in Texas. Or wait, hold on. He had one in Texas and one in Vegas. I think the Vegas is the one that he dropped.
Was it Vegas
for the botting?
I thought it was New York.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it was Texas and New York.
There you go. Whichever one had the botting attached to it, that one is gone. So now we're not even arguing anymore that we falsely inflated. This is just straight up defamation. You knew that shit wasn't true and you promoted it. So I can't even understand now, why do you want the contract? If we're not going in there to see if he had bots built into his deal, what are we looking for?
I don't even understand having bots attached to you. Well, no, it'd be his new deal because he's not with TDE anymore. So it'd be his new post.
His new disty deal. His new
okay, yeah, maybe they could potentially have that in there. But fam, if they have that in there and you know it, it's because it's in your contract as well.
They go in.
I have to believe
there's some sort of market bump that an adjustment that they add for tracks. They say, what is this? Why is he getting this? UMG responds, this is our industry standard that we use through our business partners for marketing. We can provide several examples, Aubrey Graham's notwithstanding, of how we do this. And then it ends up being exactly what your deal, or your deal is better. They use your bot deal as a deal that's even better than what Kendrick Lamar has.
I was gonna say whatever deal Kendrick Lamar has, you got it first for sure.
I just don't think there's a direction here. Again, because even if they find it, that's not what he's suing over anymore. He's suing over defamation.
Right.
What do you need Kendrick Lamar's contract for to prove defamation?
Yeah, and adding bots to his streams to make the song bigger doesn't prove that they did it because of defamation. Yeah. It proves that they did it because they want to make the record more popping. That's what they do. They're the label.
So he got a slight win.
Yeah.
They didn't
allowed
stay
the
them. Yeah, they allowed the discovery. But again, it's not like they can go in there and just take everything.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be targeted on what it is they're looking for, which are going to surround the claims that he's making.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to just march Kendrick Lamar's contract out in front of the public and say, look, see? And on this line, it says, we will help you destroy Drake.
That wouldn't be in the contract either. It shouldn't be. That would be really weird to be in the contract.
We will help you destroy Drake.
At some point, I did feel like some of this was to see his contract, just to be like, see, I told y'all, look at the splits on his contract.
Let me see his splits.
Like, bro, are you that much of a dickhead?
Splits.
Are you that much of a dickhead to get the splits on his contract?
I had somebody explain this entire thing as, have you ever dealt with an irate female? And did any of it make sense while she was irate?
That's a fact.
I think that's where we're at.
I agree.
That's where we're at.
I agree.
There really isn't any direction here. Then there was the media takeout, rumor that UMG then after having the stay on the Discovery denied, that they offered $250 million as a settlement to Drake. So let's take that at face value. Let's say media takeout has the scoop on CNBC, Fox Business, TMZ. ABC, TMZ, all of the other media outlets that they are underneath in terms of financial news,
right,
and legal news,
and
right?
News.
CNN, all of that.
Yeah.
So let's pretend that they got the scoop over all of them and that they know about a potential offering from UMG to Drake before anybody else does. And it's for $250 million. Josh, do you remember what Drake's original deal was that they were in dispute about? How big was that deal?
Reportedly $400 million.
$400 million. So essentially they're paying this man 2/3 of what his original contract that he was trying to negotiate out of and get more money for, right? So we were trying to get in excess of $400 million when all of this started. And now they're offering him $250 million to shut up. So even if we take it on face value and say that all of that is true, they just offered this man unemployment.
A severance package.
Unemployment. 66% of your income. 2/3. They offering this man a percentage of what he was originally owed on the first contract to shut up. How, in what universe is that a win?
It's not a win. And that's assuming that that's the reason why he sued them. Because that's a lot of Drake stans will tell you that's the reason why he did it. The other reason is that he's doing it for the integrity of the game. He's doing it to expose
this man
UMG.
Is trying to collect
settling
rap unemployment.
Settling doesn't fix that. Settling doesn't change the industry now to stop botting. So none of that makes sense.
I just wanted to boil it. $400 million is more than $250 million, right? So if you get in a fight with your employer over how much he's paying you, if he's already paying you $400 and you leave that fight with $250,
it doesn't make sense.
What are we talking about?
Now, on top of that, you've also made yourself radioactive in the eyes of other labels.
So yeah,
in order to get that $250.
So now you out. You got your $250 million. You're done with UMG. They're never dealing with you again. Who signed you?
Nobody. Because at any point, UMG can be like, all right, Kendrick, he went to another label, push that button again. And now your career's over.
He gonna sign with Roc Nation.
Roc Nation's under Rihanna. Are they under Sony?
He gonna sign with Roc Nation. You remember when Wayne and Jay-Z had their little squabble about who was the best rapper of all time? And then, Wayne gets into his legal issues and then his label issues with Birdman. And then all of a sudden, Wayne is on Roc Nation.
Interscope is under UMG, so they're not signing to Roc Nation. He's not signing to Roc Nation. He would have to sign to either Sony or, I can't remember the other one.
Yeah, you hating. He says you like it, accept it.
I don't lie when I know the song is garbage. I'm aware that the song is garbage.
This is a terrible argument on $250 million shit. Please elaborate. These are bad arguments. If they offer him $250 million to produce no music, that's a lot. He was trying to He's trying to negotiate out of a $400 million deal to like $600 million. Like, I'm trying to get up.
Yeah.
I didn't come into this to get less than what I started this back and forth about. So even if you're giving it to me to not work, because if they're giving him $250 million away, that's $250 million that they don't also have to add marketing costs onto. They don't have to advertise it. They don't have to produce shit.
It's $250 million to exit the relationship.
To exit the relationship. It's not like we're doing work together and there's still more funds that are being expunged on my side, because $250 million to him in his pocket doesn't include all of my cost. Like we get that, right? If he's actively making music, he's not the only one burning time. I'm burning time as well. He's not making this shit at his house. Mm-hmm. He ain't using his own producers. He's not creating the projects independently. He's using my resources to do it. Mm-hmm. So we're both getting out of this with being able to cut the number at 250 clean. Not the 400 you were owed in the original deal. There's no scenario where, oh, well, now I don't have to work, so 250 is good if I'm not working. If I was working, then I would really want the 400. Is that how it works?
Here's the other thing. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company. Now, granted, $250 million is a lot, but when that company has multiple Drakes, Kendrick Lamar, Taylor Swift.
Not to mention, I don't believe any of this is fucking true. None of this. It's not true.
That's the other argument, is that this isn't.
It's just like not. It's like, so. I mean, I'm dealing with a hypothetical,
right?
As it is,
right?
But even at that hypothetical, you can't make it make sense to me that his quest to make more than $400 million is successful when he makes 250.
Yes, correct. I agree wholeheartedly.
That don't make no sense
at all. All right, y'all can continue arguing.
He made the 400 on the deal. No, he didn't. He was trying to get out of that deal.
No. I do think they surpassed the 400 that he had to recoup.
That was his argument. That was what he was trying to come back and renegotiate about. He was trying to say, I've already recouped the 400 million. Mm-hmm. So what's our next deal? That we're in renegotiations.
I think they were heading into.
Yeah, we're going into renegotiations. That doesn't mean he had completely satisfied it just yet. So they were coming towards the end of it.
I do think he did. I do think it's likely. I wouldn't know, obviously, because I don't have the fucking balance sheet.
You wouldn't start contract negotiations after it's already been hit. Like, you would have some sort of timetable to see. Okay, like it's no different from NBA players or NFL players. They're not going to wait until you're already a free agent to offer you a contract.
No, that's facts. But the way that because we look at it, it's basically a glorified 360 deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a 360 deal, you get the advance, which in this case would be the $400 million. You make whatever.
You think they advanced him 400 M's?
Not immediately, no. But over the amount of making said albums, yes. Regardless,
that is an extremely stupid deal.
UMG ultimately recoups all of that because they now have the way a 360 works is they give you an advance, they recoup a percentage of everything after that. So they recoup a percentage of touring, merch, music, everything.
Sure. To
every deal you make, they
recoup
a percentage of. And so yes, I do believe that they probably recouped. And then after you recoup, you don't just stop. It's just whatever after that you both split a percentage of.
I'm just trying to think, man, because I understand that's how 360s work. Mm-hmm. But I've never heard one be that big of a dollar amount.
Oh no!
So
he's
from
got
that
one of the biggest.
From that perspective, it's not just the 400 million. It's all the accompanying fees and interest they try to apply over top of that. So like an artist is 100,000 could turn into 250 quickly. Think about that now. Scale that up to $400 million advanced, even over a 10-year period. That man probably owes a billion. They probably worked that to say this man owes them $1 billion. You stretch out $400 million that you've advanced over a 10-year period. You could easily be at $1 billion.
You could be, but I don't. The budget would be the budget for whatever is $400 million, and so I think it caps at that. It's not like movies where like after the $400 million you then add marketing.
But they're not just going to say, okay, we advanced you $400 million, pay it back whenever you can. Or whenever you hit that number, it's fine.
No.
There's a schedule, and if we're not on track or if he hasn't satisfied by a certain date, then we accrue interest.
But here's,
just like any other lender.
I think you're focused on the amount is because typically people don't get that.
Yeah, I don't think you go in, get 50,000 advance and only pay 50,000 back. That's not how these companies make money.
Right.
So why would they do that for a $400 million advance? If that's even how they got to that. But if they did, they absolutely wouldn't expect to be getting only $400 million back.
No, I don't think so. But also on top of that, I think he's recouped and then some. And I think he has a history of recouping and then some.
I need to see some financials to believe that. Because
we obviously don't have
how long of a time are we talking about that he's been working back this $400 million and from what? Just straight from touring?
No, it's
like that's a lot of fucking money, y'all.
The label gets a percentage of everything. So that's where it's like, okay, I can kind of see him recouping. But my point is, I think Drake himself has had a history of not only recouping, but then profiting after the recoup, which makes it easier for UMG to be like, all right, well, shit. That's why I think Lucian specifically said, you basically have an unlimited line of credit with me because I know you're going to make that shit back. I think. But regardless.
Yeah, I guess.
My next dub is going to none other than, people have been in chat asking for this like crazy, is going to none other than, if I can get this stupid quote, Terrence Howard. For coming out and telling people what's been going on, bruh.
Everybody that went to them Diddy parties, man, gave up their manhood, man.
Terrence Howard claims Diddy tried to come on to him during a private meeting, and he said, I don't been that way. It's crazy. I don't been over that way. I don't been that way. That's insane. But, yeah, I mean, hey, man, Terrence Howard coming out, telling your stories, man, that's mighty brave of you, bro. Appreciate you for telling the people about Diddy trying to come on to you. Cause
I just,
that's insane.
I just be looking at all these people, and I know at one time y'all was famous, and that's how y'all know all these folks, and it's just like, oh man, you got so much information. You just know so much. But I just know you so pure though. You so pure, and when nobody even try you big strong man, yeah, nobody will ever do anything to you. You and Cat Williams was the only people holy in the thou or sitting in the party praying right before you left.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts.
Tired of folks, boy. Quit talking about it.
All right, here's the quotes. He says, I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way.
That's crazy.
I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything. Fam, that's
all right. Now, is Terrence Howard rebranding from an intellectual to an incel?
Super thug. He's transforming from a intellectual to his character in Hustle and Flow.
Into DJ. Yeah, no, man. We don't need to go hyper masculine. We understand, man. You're not to be played with. We understand. We got you.
It's kind of insane that he put it all that way. I guess
my man card is everything.
Once Neil deGrasse Tyson violated him and his scientific theories, he was like, oh, you know what? My man card means more to me than my scientific theories.
He needs a better orator to communicate for him. You know what I'm saying? He needs somebody to, because first of all, the people that y'all be letting get off at just about anything, and then y'all be letting Elon Musk talk. It just is.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Maybe it's just his explanations that be lacking.
Yeah. Actually, this article quoted it wrong, so I read it wrong. He actually said, I don't do that shit because the main card means everything. He didn't say
the main card.
He said the main card.
Yeah, see, look. No, he didn't say the main card.
He said the main card.
No, he didn't.
The main card.
He did not.
Main. That's what he said. Yep.
I'm giving a dub out to Raven-Symoné.
I think I know why.
I'm giving a dub out to Raven-Symoné, and I don't know if I've officially given her an L on the show for this, but if I did, I'm taking it back.
Okay.
Raven-Symoné, years ago, had an interview with Oprah where she told Oprah that she's not black. I don't know if she said the words black, but it was definitely alarming at the time. I couldn't remember if she said black or African American. Her explanation today is not only much better received by me, but explained much better by her. Because even though, again, I can't remember whether or not the designation was African American or black, she could have gone a lot further into not trying to stiff arm her blackness at the moment. It felt like maybe that's what was going on. But hearing her explanation today, it makes complete sense. Right?
Like, I would say she probably got older and it probably became
the take got a little bit
for her
to communicate it, right?
Yes.
You come out of the woodwork talking about, hey, I ain't black. All right, goofy ass, so take your ass on then, right? But now we work it backwards and say, okay, well, exactly how long does the people need to occupy a land to be from that land? How much roots, history, citizenship, generations of people do you need to go through to actually be from that place? You see what I'm saying? There are individuals in this country who are not originally from this land that get to wear the moniker of American. Mm-hmm. There are individuals from other countries who end up in different places of the world who don't have to have that type of dual identification. Right? If I'm Haitian in America, I'm Haitian in America just like I'm Haitian in Haiti and I'm Haitian in the UK.
Right.
I'm not Haitian. Well, you can be technically Haitian American, but, but Haitian suffices, right?
Yeah.
If you were in the UK, you could be, I think it would just call you Haitian. I don't even know if they do the dual thing in Europe like that.
Like Haitian British?
Like, yeah, like English Haitian. Nah. I'm English Haitian.
No, they don't do that for. There's a lot of Ghanaians in England.
Same thing. You're from Ghana. You're from Ghana, and so the interesting thing is that everybody understands that when you kind of shift it off of Black Americans, mm-hmm. even though they have the longest history in that land, comparatively, right? Most African countries didn't even have a census until the 60s. That just is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're talking about citizenship. Those records go back a lot further for Black Americans than the other groups of Black people around the world that were more accepting of them just being where they're from.
Yeah.
You know, so we can play this game where we all have ancestry from Africa and, you know, we don't really have to differentiate, or we can just let people describe themselves the way that they want to be described.
Yeah, we literally have to be African American because we know we came from Africa at one point and now our identity is American.
What she said is that she feels more so like the individuals who are of African descent who come to America within the first 1 or 2 generations are African American, because then at that point you're still assimilating, you're still transferring culture. Okay. Right? It's more of a split at that point. Most of your roots, your genealogy is still from a different land, mm-hmm. but now you are forging forward in a new country. It'll mm-hmm. make you wherever you're from, plus where you are occupying, African American. Mm-hmm. If your people have been here for 500 years, or you know, at some point, all of those the cultural differences, the historical differences, the time spent out of that land does create a different or just a different group of people. Yes. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah, and that's what it has done.
Absolutely.
In this case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got to apologize to Raven-Symoné. I think she ended up being right.
Raven was on her podcast with the dad.
Uh-oh. With the dad. Yeah. From That's So Raven. They was talking about Orlando
Brown. Mm-hmm. And while I think they were
Damon Wayans talked about him too. Everybody was talking about him. I know his ear was hurting this week.
Right. I think they were having a pretty productive conversation. Except her wife kept trying to butt in with some bullshit. I was like, bro, tell your wife she can't be on the podcast anymore.
Why does she need to be in every appearance? Like, she's on their podcast. She goes on all of the podcast appearances Raven does outside of their podcast. Like, God damn, she clingy. Yeah, God damn. She can't leave the house without you.
Yeah, but she didn't add anything to that. I felt like
she usually doesn't, Josh. She usually doesn't.
That's right. 'Cause you weren't there. You can't speak to none of this shit.
She does like have input for just about every. I remember when they brought old girl back, when they brought Chelsea back, and they was talking to her. She just has so much to say. I said, "Was you on Raven?
Okay.
Was you one of the FX artists or something? Why are you talking so much?"
What are you saying? Now that brings me to my last point about the situation. Is Raven specifically said something had happened with Orlando Brown and the actress who played Chelsea.
She did say that.
And I really want to know what that thing was, because she had said Orlando Brown had already taken his turn for the worst, mm-hmm. and that she wasn't really messing with him, but Chelsea was. And so I really want to know what the fuck was happening. But
so for the record, he didn't give you that. That didn't happen.
No, I guess not.
Okay.
Jesus.
I wanted to give a quick dub out to Mika G of the Blurred AF podcast, also on with Dre Mac all the time over there. She launched a new horror podcast that she's doing. There was a game show going on Saturday, I think it was. I tuned in for. It's pretty hilarious.
It's a game show or it's a
podcast. They play a game. They play a game on the pod.
Okay. That's dope.
I, searched my inbox for an invite I didn't see or receive. But, I'll cross my fingers and wait around and study up on some of the questions so I can be effective if ever I get graced with an invite there. But no, definitely go check her out. I'm not totally positive on what day she's going to be going on, but I think she's streaming on Dre Mac's channel for now. So definitely check out Mika G.
Mika G. Okay, shout out to her.
Where we at? Let's do these toss-ups first. Nah, let's do the L's first. All right. Walmart's getting an L for me.
Yes, deserving.
Walmart, you don't even know what's going on.
I don't.
Walmart loss prevention. Give me... So, okay. Obviously, we got the self-checkout lines more prevalent in Walmart stores nowadays. Not as many cashier people.
Yep.
So the scrutiny on the cameras and the people walking through the store following you and shit like that, it's up, right? And they probably just shifted some of the workforce to doing that as opposed to working registers.
Yep.
What I have always wondered, because obviously they're not law enforcement, they can only do so much to try and stop you. Mm-hmm. They mainly just try to get the stuff back without, assaulting you. But I always wondered, like, if the situation ever led to an arrest, how far this stuff actually goes. Did they try to send them to the police? Send them to jail, press charges that way, that kind of thing. Turns out, Walmart, because they just lost a $2.1 million lawsuit for a situation like this. Okay. Lady gets caught up in a self-checkout line. They say she stole some shit. They call the police. She gets arrested. Mm-hmm. She goes to her court date, and nobody shows up from Walmart to testify.
I feel like that happens a lot.
She goes back, sues them. Apparently, they don't even have recorded evidence of her stealing anything, Josh. They don't even have anything, no proof. Obviously, a witness didn't go, and they have no recorded evidence of this woman stealing anything. They are lumping folks in to the pipeline of shoplifters that they cry about all the time. Right? This is why I really don't give a shit when stores come around talking about they're closing their doors because of theft. I think that's the most ridiculous shit that anybody would even start to believe.
Agreed.
That a corporation would close a store location because of petty theft.
Nope.
As if it's not insured to cover that, as if that amount of loss could ever affect their bottom line to the effect that
level
that they have to close the store. No. That's insane.
Because you're not making anything.
You're not making shit. You dealing with razor thin margins, and every goddamn cracker that leave out of here that ain't accounted for could close the doors.
Facts.
And you talking about large corporations? Lose me. But that has been a big thing for Walmart and arguing, oh man, we lose so much to theft. People steal so much. That's why we have to turn our stores into prisons and let no one out until we've reviewed every item on their list because people steal so much. Well, they're also lumping people in who don't steal and trying to get them wrapped up on phony baloney charges. And I think the only real reason that makes sense to me that they would do this is to keep the numbers high enough to justify how all the other adjustments they've made to the business. Their whole business model shifting away from a real service model with the cashiers, and even you used to have people walking around answering questions in Walmart. Yeah. Them motherfuckers act like they don't got to deal with you in there no more. If they're not loss prevention or working at a register, they're in there picking orders for other people. They're restocking. You talk to one of them Walmart employees one day, they're going to look at you like, are you talking to me?
That's a fact.
Are you speaking to me?
Facts.
Right? The reason why they've been able to do that and pay people less for those jobs is because they've gone to automated service for the cashiers and for other parts of the store. Yep. And they justify that by saying, well, when we were doing it with humans, the error was so high we were losing too much. It was affecting profit margins. So they keep those numbers at the way that they are to continue to push into the automated era, into the automated age of things.
Yeah. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, so back in college, back in Akron, I got in trouble. I had a open bottle case thing. I think there was somebody, a friend of ours, that was also there for shoplifting in a Walmart, and I had to do like a class thing with them. And
shoplifting in a GD Walmart, but he actually did it though. Like that was real.
Okay. So all right, because I couldn't remember if he actually
did it. No, he actually got banned from that Walmart too. That is fucking. I had never heard of anybody being banned from a grocery store at that point.
I hadn't either.
And like, bro, we not even from Akron. How did you get banned from an Akron Walmart?
Okay, so yeah, that was the only case that I had heard of that happening. But I feel like they don't often show up to those cases.
It's like a cop giving you a frivolous speeding ticket.
Yeah, well, it's yes, but it's based on something. Like you may have been going over a little bit, and in this case, yeah, he might have had something in his pocket.
So, but through research, I guess they were kind of peeking. The local news station down there was peeking in on the story. It's like a common practice not to keep video evidence on the people that they get arrested.
I'm not surprised. I think what happens is they trust their employees to be like, okay, this person did it. They record it, and the reason why they press charges against that person is to scare them to never do that shit again, and anybody around them to never.
But also, that
again.
tells me that you're not going back and verifying that your employee was correct or not.
1,000%.
Like you're not checking in on whether or not
trumping
you're
up charges against black people. For example,
that's it. Now this lady happened to be white. That's probably why she got $2.5 million. But,
I was gonna say there's a reason she took recourse against Walmart.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So okay, yeah, that's the other thing.
You sent me to jail and you don't even have no. Oh man, I'm coming to burn this Walmart down.
That's the other thing.
The $2 million was to not burn your shit down.
Yeah, no, black people would know better, or black people would not know enough to be like, oh, I'm gonna go back after them. A white person probably would.
They would probably just count their stars that nobody showed up and go home.
They would take it as a freebie, like, oh, I got out of the situation.
Target. Let me get the exact.
That's crazy that you're giving back-to-back L's. One to Walmart, one to Target.
Yes, sir.
It's also
That's
crazy.
The way we do it.
Perp said YN Josh stories. Yeah, I was a YN in college. I was a borderline alcoholic in college.
Target suffers 8 week high, reached their 8th week of foot traffic losses since caving to on the DEI stuff.
As they should.
Costco resisted, and they've extended a 13-week gain in foot traffic. So, sucks for Target.
Yeah, it's because Target, know your demographic. Know who goes and shops in your stores. Mm-hmm. Did we say this last time?
I think so.
We might have. Yeah. I think so. The people who go into your stores are people who would support DEI. If it was Walmart, it'd be a whole different story.
Different story.
Yeah, know your demographic.
First toss-up I got is the fact that Stevie Wonder can see. 100%. It's been confirmed.
Interesting.
I've had enough circumstantial evidence.
Interesting.
I'm going to go ahead and just make the prediction that this man got some sort of experimental surgery. He got some sort of herbal treatment, retina replacement. He got something. He can see. And I think the aesthetic of being a blind musician was too profitable to just give up. But, he can see. I've now heard of this man hooping. I've heard of a fist fight that he got into that he won going away.
That's crazy.
Driving. The latest story has come from Johnny Gill. Apparently, Stevie Wonder beat Johnny Gill and who was the other one? It don't even matter. Johnny Gill and somebody else in air hockey.
Wait, so he beat Johnny Gill and another person
in air hockey.
No, it's crazy.
It's Stevie Wonder Can See, y'all.
He took a picture. I showed you this, and you said, no, he can't see.
Dog. The man beat somebody in air hockey, basketball. He beating people up. He driving. He can see. Okay, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and 7-8 times. Nah, dog. Nah. The jig is up, Stevie. We know you can see.
Stevie Wonder camera. Here we go, right here. Boom. He's looking through the viewfinder on that camera. He's taking a picture because he can see.
And the fact that everybody let him do that without a react. Hey, Stevie, come on, man. You're going to give up the jig.
Okay.
Give it up.
Apparently this is a gag because he has multiple pictures with cameras in his hand.
Well, see, that looks like a blind man holding the camera. He's
like
pointing to the ground. Yeah, to the ground. But see,
TMZ handing him a camera is crazy.
That's funny.
Oh, you know what? He's actually not looking through the.
That's probably a gag too.
The viewfinder is on his forehead.
That's Dubs and L's. Give us your thoughts on everything discussed here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for another Dubs and L's live on Sundays or a replay on Wednesdays.
Absolutely. And make sure you check out the playlist full of Dubs and L's, see what we talked about in previous weeks. And make sure you're here Wednesday at 10 for a new W's and L's.